I'm going to let you into the mind of someone who's super self-aware as I process through triggers that keep coming up. And so you can see an example of how someone who's self-aware thinks through the problems that they experience. And hey, my name's Tara and I'm on a mission to create a self-aware army because it's lonely in these self-aware streets. So I've noticed over the past 2 weeks that I keep having the same physical experience. So having to be in tune with my body to understand that both professionally and personally, I am having a constant experience of what I can consider a wound of rejection, right? Where I'm feeling rejected. Again, it's not just romantic relationships or friendships. It's also happening at work where I'm getting the same kind of feeling when clients are unhappy or customers are unhappy. So it's been about 2 weeks of this feeling kind of creeping in, and either it'll start very early in the morning and I'll be thinking about it and I will feel tension in my heart and tension in my stomach or my gut area where it's that kind of anxious feeling. So my go-to is either talking it out with a friend who's also self-aware and who asks really good questions, or I journal it out. And so what I recognized was I'm being triggered by a wound of rejection, which I know is one of my core wounds. So why am I feeling rejected? What meaning am I placing on these events that are happening where I'm constantly in a state of feeling rejected, that I don't feel safe emotionally? I feel scared. I feel fear, even though logically I can logic the fact that none of these situations are really threatening to me. But there is that kind of inner child part of me, or the emotional part of me, that is feeling fear and is triggered. All right, so here's how it really went down in my head. Okay, so there is a customer who is upset with feeling like she's not getting what she paid for. She totally is. And I'm getting defensive in my head about, you're getting what you pay for. In fact, you're getting more than what we contracted for, but you're throwing a hissy fit about it. That's fine. That's her emotions coming through. So why am I taking on her emotions? When I got really deep down to it, it's like, I really want to help her, and I feel like she's either not accepting my help or it is triggering this. It's not good enough, even though I've gone above and beyond what was stated and I have helped her grow her business significantly. But in her fear, that's being projected onto me and I'm accepting of that. Okay, so where's the boundary with that? How can I get to feeling safe within myself so that I don't have to go along this emotional journey with her, because that does neither of us any good? Okay, so I know I've created an impact. It just doesn't look like the way that I want it to. And it's clearly not looking the way that she wants it to. So maybe we have different definitions of what impact is, or maybe she's just having an emotional moment and it needs to pass because emotions are temporary. Okay, maybe that's the case. Maybe we don't have to do anything in this immediate moment. And I can honor the fact that I feel sad that she's disappointed or she's feeling like this is not what she wanted. I have looked at the data and I've looked at the numbers, and I know that I've delivered and over-delivered on what I promised to do and what was contracted to do. And yet I still feel bummed for her that she feels like it's not enough. But I also can look at a pattern of history with her that this has kind of happened multiple times. So what is the solution in that? And to some extent, I need to let my emotions come down before I make any decisions. I need to get to a place of detachment from her results, because I'm not responsible for anyone else's results. I'm responsible to fulfilling on contracts, and I'm responsible to following through on what I said I would do. And I have done that and gone above and beyond on that. But I can't be responsible for how other people run their businesses or the decisions that they make, especially when they didn't consult me on those decisions and it cost them thousands of dollars. So if I'm taking responsibility for my emotions, I can honor the fact that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make things right, with certain boundaries and with what's reasonable. If she's open to that conversation, and if she's not, that's not within my control. Okay. So I can accept that I am in control of my actions. I'm very proud of how I showed up for this client, more so than any other client, and supported her through some very hard times. And I have a lot of evidence and screenshots of how happy she's been with what we've worked through together. And she's going through a hard time right now, and I can support her in that, and also have boundaries that, there was a contract signed. Let's talk about the personal side of things. And this is where it feels kind of vulnerable, because it's about dating. So there have been some people that I've been talking with, potentially dating. I wouldn't even say we're really dating, but where I have felt rejected, where I have felt slighted, or I felt hurt by their actions or inactions. Okay, so in my head, I go, what meaning am I making of their actions or inaction? Well, maybe I said something and that changed how they felt. Maybe they're busy. What could it be that is not the worst case scenario thinking? Maybe this isn't meant for me. Maybe there's something to learn here. Maybe, what is it to learn here? What do I need to learn in this? Well, I've noticed a pattern repeating with multiple people over the past few months of dating, where it kind of peters out before it returns to anything. Okay, well, is that due to something I'm doing, or is that them? Well, I'm the common denominator, so there's got to be something that either I'm attracting or I'm allowing. How often have I self-abandoned in these conversations, or how often have I noticed discomfort in my gut in talking with them that I ignored and then kept talking? Are these really people that are worth getting upset over? It's not that they're not great people, but to derail me and emotionally derail me to this extent where I'm feeling rejected and it's triggering childhood wounds, that's my work to do. That has nothing to do with them. Okay, so what is it I'm seeking and I'm craving from them that I can give myself? Because I don't want to seek for my needs being met externally unless I know how to meet them myself. So this is a learning opportunity to learn how to love myself and be a-okay in myself so that I'm not seeking it from others. Therefore, my emotional state is not dependent on somebody else's actions or inaction. Okay, so what is it I want? I'm seeking attention. Sure, it's valid. What kind of attention? I want to feel adored. I want to feel special. Okay, in what ways am I not making myself feel special? Or in what ways am I not celebrating me? How can I adore myself? Gosh, I don't actually know. Well, what would I love for them to do right now? I would love for them to be proactive in reaching out to me and planning to spend time with me. Okay, so if I put that on me, do I proactively create time to spend with myself, doing things that I love? Do I honor my body when it says something's wrong, or do I ignore it? Okay, there's something to work on. I need to be more intentional about honoring my body when it tells me something wrong, and at a minimum, checking in with myself and spending time with myself, even a little bit each day, doing something I enjoy. Sure, that feels lighter. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, bless your heart. Because I know that can seem like a lot, and it was stuff I'd already processed through, but that's how quickly I start to go through identifying my own needs. What is really at the root cause of feelings or emotions that continue to come up for me? I don't do this every time I feel an emotion, but it is a really beautiful self-awareness and self-discovery process so that I am responsible for my reactions, my response, my results in life, and not looking anywhere else outside of me to try and control someone else or something else. Because the reality is we control nothing outside of us. We only control our actions, our beliefs, our behaviors, our results. And so that is the process that I go through in my head. And it's very quick for me now because I've gotten so used to it. But journaling out, what is really at the root cause of this? What is it my inner child is screaming for? What need is being unmet that I can possibly meet myself, or that I should be able to meet myself, so that I don't keep having these expectations of somebody else meeting my needs, especially if I haven't communicated them, or if I don't even know how to meet them myself. So I can follow along if you want to learn how to be more self-aware so that you can actually control more of how you enjoy your life. Because that was way more productive for me in creating a felt experience that I liked, as opposed to waiting for another person to give me something, some juicy carrot or something that I was needing. Because ultimately, both of those scenarios, I don't think that they're ever going to turn into what I would want or what I would need to feel at peace with those situations, because I can give it to myself.